Good evening, everybody, and welcome to December, and it is the 8th, our first meeting for December for City Council. I'll call the meeting to order. Please, wherever you're at, rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one
nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Ortega.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer.
Here.
Councilmember Thompson.
Here.
Councilmember Estes.
Here.
Councilmember Applegate.
Here.
Councilmember Geek.
Here.
Councilmember Duncan.
Here.
All 7 members present virtually.
All right, great. Before we get into our meeting tonight, we kind of got some not great news over the weekend, last few days. One of our former firefighters, Mr. Carneal, Chris Carneal, passed away this weekend. He had cancer and had been dealing with it for a while. And he was a firefighter for the city for a while. I think he was on Fort Carson as a firefighter over there. If I'm wrong, I apologize for that. One of his kids actually works for Sylvia. I don't know, does he still work for us, Sylvia, or was he part-time?
He was a part-time
Okay.
rec department.
Yeah, okay, in our parks department, and so he has some ties with our city and things like that, and I know a lot of our firefighters are still pretty close with him, and you know, we're kind of supporting him as much as possible as he and his family were dealing with what's going on. But unfortunately, he did lose that battle this weekend, and I just wanted to take a few moments to just recognize the work he did as a firefighter for our city, and just kind of pass along our sympathies and whatnot to his family and especially his kiddos, who we know pretty well. So if you would indulge me in a couple seconds here. Okay, thank you for that. I know they're going to be having a thing and the service for him, and they're trying to do it all socially distanced and everything. So hopefully that'll pull off with no hitches for the family. And you know, again, our sympathies and prayers are with the kiddos and his wife and all the firefighters who knew him and worked alongside him. Okay, with that, we will continue moving on. We got a few things tonight, but I think most of it is second reading, so that should be easy enough to handle. Let me see on our list here. Paul, if you want, go ahead and go through the, because there are some names I haven't seen in a while, to go over the particulars for the meeting.
Sure thing, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the meeting tonight. If you're logged in through the GoToWebinar interface, you'll see a toolbar with 4 buttons on it. If that's all you see and you don't see anything next to it, click the orange button to open the user interface out to its full extent. Upon joining the meeting, all attendees' microphones are muted, and there are 2 ways that you can communicate with City Council. One would be to raise your hand virtually by clicking on the hand button on your vertical menu bar. The other would be to type a question into the question pane in the attendee interface. If you're connected by phone and not by the web presentation, you will not be able to raise your hand or ask a question. To raise your hand, click on the hand button on your vertical attendee menu bar. When your hand is raised, the arrow will turn from green to red. A member of the staff will call on you by the name you registered and will unmute you. To ask a question in the questions pane, in the attendee pane, type the question to the City Council or to staff members, and a member of staff will read the question out loud to the appropriate party. Again, if the question pane is not visible, click on the orange arrow to open the attendee pane.
All right, thank you, Paul, for doing that. And again, if I will try to keep as best watch on the attendees and any questions that may come up throughout. And I have some others that are kind of letting me know as well through the chat, just in case I miss somebody. So if I do, just I apologize, and we'll try to get to you as quickly as we can. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward on our agenda. And tonight, under presentations, we have an update from the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. Downing. I did see his name on here, so we'll see if he can unmute himself. And okay, I unmuted you, sir, and go ahead and there you go.
Okay, it looks like I'm unmuted. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
That's important. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead, and if it's okay with you, Mr. Mayor, I'll just get right into my presentation tonight.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Am I video or am I just verbal?
That I don't know.
I was just curious if folks can see. I can see you. Usually
Okay.
on a webinar, sometimes we're just going to see you, so that's okay.
All right. No, I don't know. I don't see camera icons for everybody, so I'm going to assume that you are just audio.
All right. Well, okay. I'm still having a good hair day for those who
Okay.
are curious. And okay, guys, I would just start out to share with you that from a chamber perspective, a lot of the news that we hear nationally is not always positive, but I would share with you at the chamber, we're doing well. I look at this update as kind of a state of the chamber. And right now, as a state of the chamber, we feel very optimistic coming into the year. We worked really hard with our communication and communicating with folks. Obviously, we did not have our big event that we normally have in our community, which is the Fall Festival. And some folks were concerned, with that being sometimes a fundraiser for our organization, how did that impact us? It really didn't have a negative impact on us. And the main reason is we've continued to grow in membership. We've had, good members. We've grown in sponsorship. Some of you know back in the day, we could count our sponsors on just a couple fingers. And now we are up to 9 sponsors that we have. 2 of our latest sponsors is a Homewell Services, and also Renee Green's Valley Christian Academy is one of our sponsors. So we're continued to be thankful for the sponsorship that we have that supplemented some of that loss of income. It's been a really tough year for nonprofits and for charities, as most of you know, this year, but we've kept our head above water quite well. We're communicating with our members often. So I would just share with you, this week we're going to have our annual membership meeting. We're going to be doing that virtually like you guys are doing it. We do it via a Zoom meeting where we have members that are a part of the membership can also join our normal meeting. There we present our vision, we present our budget, let them know how that we're doing. And like I said, we're doing fine financially. And then also we vote on board members. I think one of the keys to our success this year is we have not had a lot of turnover from a leadership perspective and from a board member perspective. We are full at 9 members right now as far as our board members go. Tracy Kaninsky is still our president. We did have a change at treasurer. Carola is no longer with us. We have a gentleman named Jake that is our treasurer right now. But as I said, the other 8 members have been with us all year. And from our conversations, they're going to be with us all next year as well. So I am going to maintain the presidency coming into next year, as well as Tracy as vice president. So I think that consistency in leadership has really been helpful. Some of you that have been on the membership or on the team before know some folks are, in the past have been anxious to get off. They've served their couple years and they're moving on. But I would just share with you, this is a very positive group. We work very well together, and there's no negativity that we're dealing with. And so I think that's been a big part of our consistency that we continue to maintain. As some of you are familiar with the way that you're organized with our good friend there, John Trouch, we have a strategic template and our specific activities that we prioritize coming into the year. This year, because of our limitation in physical meetings, our breakfast is still a big draw. I do appreciate all of you in city leadership that have supported us this year, the mayor, the city manager, deputy city manager, police chief, fire chief. You guys are such a big draw. For business owners that are running their business every day, they're in their business, they're not working on their business, they don't get a chance to meet folks like you. And so I just want to humbly on their behalf, thank you for your continued support. Some of you did it live, some of you were able to when it was safe, and some of you have done it via Zoom. So we're continuing that. We do survey our members often, and one of the things that came out this year that we added is we added a lunch and learn every month. And so those that can't make it due to their breakfast schedule, dealing with kids off to school, things like that, lunch and learn worked well for these people. And so we've had tremendous success. We've taken advantage of some of our partnerships. Chamber Nation maintains our website, and they were willing to come in and teach some of our members how to maximize and utilize their website and link things, and that was really well received. We also took advantage of our relationship with the Pikes Peak Small Business Development Center. They came in and they taught some classes for us. For non-members, that would cost you money to have classes supported by that organization, but because our members are part of the chamber, it didn't cost them anything to get some of that education. And so that was really well. So we are continuing to move forward. What we're focused on right now in our local business is getting information to our members as soon as we can. Scott Trainer's passed on some really good information, John as well. As you guys get information, don't hesitate to forward anything to Kimberly, our office manager, and we'll get it out there. So we continue, and we heard that Scott did a great job in working toward getting some grants for small businesses that our folks were able to apply locally. We got that information out, and it helped several businesses locally with the grants that were provided. Anything that's an update in status on COVID-19, we're continuing to work around and get some information. We're going to be creative. Some of the events that we're going to plan are going to involve food trucks and activity, again, based on safe distances and what would work to get some exposure. Black Hills Energy is one of our sponsors, and they've got a great rebate initiative for businesses that are doing patio serving. They can get a rebate for some of those space heaters that they're using on their back patios and things like that. So I would just share with you that we're in a very positive state. We're in a very proactive state. We have not let this pandemic stop us from moving forward.
Okay, yeah, and I kind of follow you guys on Facebook and watch all you tried to keep going even with the breakfast and those sort of things, and I think it's just kind of a testament of what we've been able to kind of just keep going through as a city as a whole, and all the different things. And granted, our small businesses are really taking a hit again right now. I've seen some of the things you guys have posted and just trying to make them aware that you're there to support and providing them links to get to the support that they need. And so I know that's been appreciative as well. And I think, again, we're back to the kind of the saying of, we're finally a chamber that's doing the job that it's supposed to be doing. So even, when we didn't get to have the parade and you guys, that's where you made the most of your, like you said, the bulk of your money, you're able to still move on with business and still attract members is awesome. So, it's been a kind of a refreshing thing. I've been doing this as long as I have and seeing where we are today with that chamber and what you guys have done, especially the leadership. So I do appreciate all that hard work that you guys have been doing.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. We appreciate you as well.
All right. Thank you. I don't see any questions from anybody, and we just look forward to seeing how you guys keep growing, and glad to hear that you're going to stick on for a little bit longer and keep that that moving forward mantra going. So thank you.
Lord willing and safe, I look forward to doing my next presentation in the second quarter of next year live.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thanks for the update. We're going to keep going. We have no commission boards or anything like that appointments. City Council agenda requests and announcements, and I will start with Miss Duncan.
Good evening to everyone. I hope everyone had a blessed and safe Thanksgiving. While you're doing your Christmas shopping, as it was just mentioned, our small businesses are hurting again right now. So I encourage everyone to shop small. They have unique gifts, really nice gifts, one of a kinds. So please support the businesses here in Fountain, and that's how we can help them to stay open and shop locally. If you are in need of assistance with medical bills, groceries, childcare, or even cash, the El Paso County Department of Human Services has resources available, and you can apply online at www.colorado.gov/peak. And that's all I have for now.
All right. Thank you, Miss Duncan. Mr. Geek, anything?
Nothing tonight.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Applegate.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Estes?
I just want to mention that winter time is a hard time for blood banks to collect blood donations, and appreciate it if you're eligible to get out there and donate. Our local donor center is at Vitaland on Austin Bluffs Parkway, and you can find their website and schedule a meeting, a donation time for them. It's VITALANT.org, vitalant.org, or you can call 877-258-4825 to schedule a time to donate. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And I did get an email from them recently saying that they are now just straight across the board. If you go give blood, they'll automatically do the antibody test for COVID. I know when we did the blood bank here in Fountain, it was kind of an option, and so I chose the option. I didn't have them, but it's kind of spreading all over the place right now. So there's a good possibility you've been exposed, or you may have had it and just felt like a normal cold, and you might be interested in seeing if you have that. Those antibodies, so it's now part of that giving blood, and it's free when you give the blood. So as an added kind of, if you're that interested and you want to find out, take a shot and go up there and do that. So thank you, Ms. Estes. Mayor Pro Tem.
I got nothing tonight, thanks.
Okay, Ms. Thompson.
Oh my goodness, it's been a busy time since we met before. As you all know, the legislatures met for a special session. That was something I have never seen before. I wish they could work that fast all the time, on one hand, but on the other hand, it was absolutely wild. They were introducing bills at 10 in the morning. They were assigned to committees, and at 11:30, you were on the phone doing testimony to committees. So, and they were second by that evening at 10:30, they were on the second reading on the floor already. So it was pretty wild and crazy. Lots of great things got passed. Obviously, people are still, needing things, but there were some good things that came out of it, especially the child care bill, which I tried to get on to testify for, but had lots of connection issues. So fortunately, Commissioner Williams and I had spoken ahead of time on what we wanted to say. So she just said my piece to support the working families that need childcare to be able to get to work. So hopefully that'll help some families in our area. I just want to let everybody know the CML, the Colorado Municipal League Legislative Day, will be virtual this year, so everyone will have a chance to drop in to that meeting. And we don't know the date quite yet, but when you do see that come through, I'd really encourage everybody to sign up for that, because it's your one chance to get to attend something like that without having to drive to Denver and fight all that traffic and parking and everything. So that would be great if we could have a turnout. And the other thing I learned from that is, hey, mute is the new 4-letter word of the year. You're on mute, or you're muted, or so. And I thought that was kind of a funny thing. I did have a meeting with PPACG staff and Yolanda Avila, council member from Colorado Springs, for the federal transit position that we have every other year for federal fundings for dollars for transit. And the 5310 specialized transit funding is going to be running through PPACG right now to make it more of a regional money for specialized transportation. I'm really excited about that. We've been working on that for a couple of years, and it's going to come into fruition in January. So we're going to be looking, for a lot of changes in that area. And I attended a Bennett town hall meeting, and I don't know, Scott, if you can try to find the answer out for me, because I've left a couple of messages, but at the town hall meeting, Senator Bennett said something I hadn't heard before. Pregnant women and children are not going to be getting the the vaccination. When I called their offices asking what age is child, because for certain things in the medical field, it's 12, 14, 16, 18, So if we could get some clarification just for our community on what age is a child. Do you know that, Gabe?
It's
You're
12.
nodding your head, yeah. It's
12
12?
and under. 12 and under, and like you said, the pregnant women won't be able to get it either.
Okay, so 13 and up.
Right.
13 and up are eligible. Okay,
If
great.
I could
That was it.
add one thing, the county is going to provide an update on that vaccination process next Tuesday at our council meeting as well. So any other questions, they can help out with that as well.
Okay, well, it's when they kind of throw something out there like that and then they, couldn't get hold of anybody. I'm glad to know that, so thank you. And then one last thing, and maybe Scott will share some more on this later, but I had a meeting with all the Karen share, some of the providers in the area dropped in, and it was regarding the exciting happening of them opening up a Sunnyside Market in Fountain, and Scott can share a little bit more about that if he wants to, but because he knows more where we're at that with than I do at this moment. But it's just so exciting to see a new provider in our area. They are over where last time it was called the Heritage Center. Before that, it was where the Fountain Valley Theater was, over on Dale Street. It's a new provider in our community, and they're providing meals for kids. They're doing it, I think, once a week with meals. You can pick up for the kids and you just heat them. They're on Facebook. I don't know the name of it. I just know the name of the lady, but it's really exciting to see another provider down in the south end of town providing meals and different services for our community. So as they just get up and running during COVID, bless their hearts, tough time to get started, but they really feel committed to this area. So that's exciting.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, a lot of information there. And as Scott said, for everybody who maybe watches this later as well, the county is going to present how they're hoping to distribute the vaccines as it starts getting passed out to all the states and counties and things like that. And it's a huge process, and it's gonna be a long road, but I think we'll get there eventually. It's just and you have all the people who are totally, I'm not gonna get it, and those types of things. So hopefully I'm far enough down the list I can, if the zombie apocalypse starts, I know not to take it, but we'll see what happens. So with that, I think the only thing I have is we did have our Christmas tree lighting. I don't know if we mentioned that at the last meeting. No, we didn't. And that, it went really well. I enjoyed in driving by now and seeing the Christmas tree in front of City Hall. It's a super nice tree. And thanks to everybody who put time and work into that and getting that ready for us and doing all that and, kicking off the Christmas season. Hopefully that's a good thing that we're able to look back on for the community as we have that. I did want to mention, usually around Thanksgiving time, I'd like to say, I'm thankful for this or thankful for that. And, I didn't really kind of touch on it last time, but just take a second here just to thank the staff for all the hard work that they do throughout the year. You guys work tirelessly and in the midst of pandemics now and everything else that life throws at us. And you guys have just been, champions and have just really done some great things with our community and where we're going. And everybody from, the guy driving the sand truck to, everyone that's out there just coming in every day and doing the best they can and in the midst of everything. So the staff, each and every one of you, thank you on behalf of the council. And to the council, just thank you all for being, well, usually we're up here, but being there with me and taking the willingness and the courage to put yourself out there and do this job. A lot of people think we're doing this for some kind of self-preservation or something else, or there's a lot of money in it, and there's absolutely no money in it. And we get like I said, a little tiny stipend to offset some costs that we spend on. We probably spend a whole lot more on that anyway. But just to put yourselves out there and deal with all the things that we deal with throughout the day and try to keep everyone at an even keel as best as we can. I think that's lost on a lot of people, and it's easy to be the critic and easy to just be out there and have all the answers and never really get in the ring and put the gloves on yourself. So thank you to the council members just for fighting a good fight, and we're going to keep plugging forward and hopefully the next group of people when they come in will have the right things in their minds as they move forward with this. So just thank to each and every person, whether you're staff or a fellow council member. I'm very happy that I've been able to spend these times with you all do all that. So just a real quick, should have said it 2 weeks ago, but said it tonight. Just as a reminder, next week it will be our next regular council meeting. Normally it would be 2 weeks from now, but because of the Christmas holiday, we did move this one up 1 week since it's the 22nd. We don't want to cut into anybody's Christmas. Not like a whole lot of people are going anywhere, but just so everyone knows, our next meeting and our last meeting for the year will be on the 15th in 1 week. So we're going to do another two in a week, or two in a row. With that, I do have our next item, which is public to be heard. Citizens may address the council on items that are not on the agenda. We ask that you email your question to the clerk prior to the meeting at councilmeetings@fountaincolorado.org. Council may not be able to provide an immediate answer, but will direct staff to follow up. And out of respect for the council and others in attendance, we're just asking that you limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. I'm going to go to Ms. Huffman, if you got anything.
No, sir, I haven't received any emails.
Okay, and I do have a question for Mr. Rick. Oh, it says nothing for me. Okay, and I don't see anybody else who had a question. So with that, we're going to go ahead and keep moving forward on to our consent agenda, item number 7. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be approved with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which case the item may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately at the discretion of council. We have items A, B, C, D, and E. What would council like to do with these items? Ms. Thompson?
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to move for approval, but I would like to pull off item D, please, just for more information.
Item D, Mr. Applegate.
I was gonna second.
Okay, Ms. Estes, did you have anything further?
Just second.
Okay, so we do have a motion and second for approval of items A, B, C, and E. We will listen to D in new business. Ms. Huffman?
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to old business, item 8A, second reading of ordinance number 1751, an ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of Fountain from the planned unit development PUD district to the small office SO district for a portion of the property generally known or located at the southeast corner of El Pueblo Road and Link Road, Fountain, Colorado, and hereinafter more specifically described in exhibits A and B. Ms. Martinez?
Thank you. Good evening. Christy Martinez with the City of Fountain Planning Department. As mentioned, there have been no changes to the ordinance since first reading.
Okay, no changes. Any questions from council on this item? Okay, seeing none. Any from public? Okay, seeing none. So we have no questions, comments, or concerns. Council? Mr. Geek?
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1751 on second reading.
Okay, and Mayor Pro Tem?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and second for approval. Ms. Huffman?
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
All righty. We're going to move on to item 8D, second reading of ordinance number 1752, an amended and ordinance, as amended an ordinance amending the following sections of Title 17 zoning 17.04.170, A.5.FV PUD standards, 17.08.020D, access, approaches, driveways and curbs, cutouts or cuts, permits and standards, 17.12050.050, sign measurement, 17.12.060D, point 3, freestanding pole signs, 17.12.060E, monument signage, 17.12.060 I, wall signs, 17.12.090, definition specific to signs, 17.13.030, temporary use, table 17.13.1, 17.18.020 E, chicken hens, and 17.31.010. Meanings defined. Ms. Martinez.
Thank you for reading that one. There have been changes to this ordinance. We did amend section 171290, which is definition specific to signs. That area is being amended to remove the definitions that are sign specific. Those definitions are primary frontage, primary sign, secondary frontage, and secondary sign. These were all definitions that were related to other sections of the sign sections of the code that were to be removed, and these are not referenced anywhere else within the zoning ordinance, and therefore they are being removed at this time. Otherwise, there have been no other changes. Are there questions for staff?
Okay, questions from council? Okay, or public? I'm seeing no questions on either side. Council, how would you like to proceed with this item? Ms. Duncan.
I motion to approve ordinance 1752 on second reading as amended.
All right, and Mr. Applegate?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second for approval as amended. Ms. Huffman?
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
All righty. Move on to item 8C, second reading of ordinance number 1753, an ordinance establishing a new chapter, chapter 15.05 within Title 15, Public Safety of the Fountain Municipal Code, establishing a public safety impact fee. And Chief Maxon, it's all yours.
Good evening, everybody. This is the second reading of the ordinance that you all heard last time, establishing public safety fees for police and fire for new development that happens within the city of Fountain. And do I have any questions on this?
Muted. Any questions from council? Okay, I'm not seeing any from council or public. All right, thank you, Chief. Council, how would you like to proceed? Mr. Applegate?
Move to approve ordinance 1753 on second reading.
All right, and Ms. Duncan?
I second.
All right, we have a motion and second for approval on second reading. Ms. Huffman?
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
All right, moving along, item 8D, second reading of ordinance number 1754 as amended. An ordinance establishing public safety impact fees is authorized by chapter 1505, public safety impact fees of the Fountain Municipal Code. Chief Maxon, you can continue.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So item 8D is the adoption of the public safety fees. And we caught something. The fire marshal, Michael Gates, really is the one that caught this. And when we did the work on this project, we really thought hard about making sure that this is reasonable, that we still encourage development in the city of Fountain, but it's reasonable so that we don't discourage development with our fees. And so one thing that was caught is that with multifamily dwellings, which would be, for example, apartments, the fees were really, really high to where it could potentially discourage that kind of development in our city. So we are coming to this evening on the second reading with a amendment where we are amending the fees for multifamily dwelling impact fees of $492, which is less. It's about half of what it was before. And I'm going to ask Fire Marshal Gates to share anything that he has to say.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Chief Maxton. We did drop the original price down about 30% on multifamily dwellings. Anything from a 3-unit and bigger will be in the category of a multifamily dwelling. The reason why we decided to do this is the buildings that are to be built and also any kind of access control and design, it's a higher part of the fire code, life safety code, and the egress and out access codes. So it's overall the buildings and the area surrounding these buildings are a little bit safer on the newer style codes. So we just believe it would just be better to lower it because it would help us in the long run to have the impact fees at a lower cost because they are putting more stuff into them for life safety measures. Is there any questions for me?
Thank you, Mr. Gates. Let me check to see if there's any questions. And Chief, is that it on your presentation as well?
That is it for my presentation. Nothing else has changed other than those multifamily dwellings.
Okay, it seems reasonable to me. I don't know that, I don't know if I'm not seeing anybody who would disagree. And you know, we are trying to encourage some of that growth as well. And I know that we have some potentials that may be out there that really want to come in and provide that as an opportunity for people in the community. So good catch there on that. I'm not seeing any other questions from council or public. So with that, council, how would you like to proceed with this item? Oh, sorry, Ms. Duncan.
I move we adopt ordinance 1754 on second reading as amended.
All right, and Mr. Geek.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second for approval on the amended ordinance, second reading. Ms. Huffman?
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carries.
All right, thank you. On to item 8E, second reading of ordinance number 1755, an ordinance annexing to the city of Fountain, the area to be known as Fountain Electric Substation Addition, generally located southeast of the intersection of Link Road and Mark Shuffle Road, including a portion of the Mark Shuffle Road right-of-way from Link Road East to Furlong Circle, and hereinafter more specifically described in Exhibit A. I think we have Ms. Martinez on this one.
Yes, thank you. There have also been no changes to this ordinance since first reading.
All right, no changes. Questions from council? And any from public? I'm not seeing any. Okay, seems simple enough. Council? Ms. Duncan?
I motion to approve ordinance 1755 on second reading.
And Mayor Pro Tem?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second for approval. Ms. Huffman?
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Item 8F, second reading of ordinance number 1756, and ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of Fountain, Colorado to planned industrial PI district related to that area to be known as Fountain Electric Substation, generally located southeast of the intersection of Link Road and Mark Shuffle Road, and hereinafter more specifically described in Exhibit A and Exhibit B. Ms. Martinez?
Thank you. There have also been no changes to this ordinance for the initial zoning since first reading.
Okay, no changes. I see no questions on either side. So I'm going to quickly go to council as to move forward on this item. Mayor Pro Tem.
I move to approve ordinance 1756 on second reading.
Okay, and Ms. Estes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second for approval of this item. Ms. Huffman.
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
All right, item 8G, second reading of ordinance number 1757, setting appropriations for the funds, offices, and departments of the city of Fountain, Colorado for the fiscal year 2021, beginning January 1, 2021. Mr. Lewis.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, council and citizens that are listening in. This is John Lewis, Finance Director for the City of Fountain. Shauna Dale is also attending virtually. She is our Deputy Finance Director. The budget that you have here is detailed in Exhibit A, and the only change, as you can see, is the $250,000 addition to streets that you had requested in the first reading. 200,000 is the maximum amount that would be needed for a street study, and we believe we'll be able to be substantially under that, and an additional 50,000 for increased street maintenance. All other numbers are the same as in the first reading. This is a balanced budget and in accordance with Colorado state regulations, and we are projecting an unassigned general fund balance in excess of our 20% target by the end of December 31st, 2021. The mill levy has not changed in many years and is still 10.239 for the general fund and 4.94 for the Heritage Special Improvement Maintenance District. You previously approved the mill levies for the General Improvement Districts number 1 and number 2. And so with the Exhibit A and those mill levy numbers, I would ask for your appropriation of our budget for 2021.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lewis and Ms. Dale, for again, all the hard work that you guys put into this every year. And I'm going to go to council to see if there's any further questions, comments, or concerns on this item as we look to move forward with it. Not seeing any, and in public, again, I am not seeing any names go up, any hands go up. So with that, how would council like to proceed? Mr. Applegate.
Yeah, I move to approve ordinance number 1757 on second reading.
And Mr. Geek.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and second for approval. Ms. Huffman.
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Thank you very much, Council. And just for everyone's information, the digital budget book should be on the website within the next 2 weeks. We need to update it for the enabling legislation that comes out of this meeting, as well as a few other updates. No changes to the numbers, of course, just some of the narratives. Minimal additions from what is currently on the website. And again, there is most of the budget is, I would say 95% is already on the website. But the finalized digital budget book, as I indicated, will be on the website within the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. And again, Shauna and everybody, honestly, who put in all the time and work into this budget. And as we move forward, it's a big task, and there's just a lot that goes into it. I've been kind of pushing staff to see if it's possible in maybe getting all the budget done next year after the election certified. Then that way, this one will be my last. And it'll be that much funner next year for you guys. It's just a joke, but next year I just want to encourage anyone who may be watching or who watches this later on. And if you, with the election coming up next year, I would encourage you to sit in and watch and be a part of the public meetings that happen and occur with this and understand what really goes into budget. And it's not about council signing off on things and just this blanket, check that everyone gets to write and do all this stuff with. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. A lot of people are scratching and clawing to keep their departments moving forward. And every department is as important as the other. And so, again, if you have any aspirations to put your name in the ring this coming November in a year, I would strongly suggest and encourage that you're a part of those meetings so you understand what the undertaking really means and that it's not a simple process at all, and it takes months to get to where we are today. And so again, I do encourage anyone that wants to do that. You may actually like it. I know Ms. Thompson loves that time of year. Me on the other end, I'm not, so I'm not a big fan of it. But there you go. We're going to go ahead and move on to new business, and the only item we have is the removed item from our consent agenda, item D. And that is amendment to the Utilities Department organizational structure associated with the consolidation of the department's water and electric operations. Mr. Blankenship, I think you are still on.
Yes, sir. I am here, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Council. Yeah.
Well, let me have Ms. Thompson, since she pulled it, if you had a specific question, go ahead and kind of just explain what your question is and help him be able to describe.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is kind of a big departmental change for those of us that are, kind of geeky government people. And I would just, for the sake of transparency with the public, just like to go through this a little bit rather than just on the consent agenda. The thought process, and I know Scott can approve this. He doesn't need us, but and I appreciate the thought that's gone into this, but just a little clarification and for the public and maybe for those of us a little bit more too. And I appreciate the time and thought that has already gone into this. Thank you. So just a little short synopsis.
Okay, I will. With that, I'll go ahead and try and keep it brief here. Essentially, what we're doing is with the physical co-location of our water and our electric operations, we want to take to greatest advantage of the opportunity. We have our deputy director who has extensive experience and a really great track record in effectively and efficiently managing utility operations. And so with the two groups coming together physically, we felt that this was a good opportunity to then put the water operations underneath the deputy director. We currently in electric, we do not have a superintendent position. The electric general foreman reports currently to the deputy utility director, and under our proposed reorganization, the water foreman will also report directly to the deputy utility director. What that means to the superintendent position is what we're proposing is to retitle that position from superintendent to water resources and engineering manager. the water resources and engineering manager, that for all practical purposes, the only change in duties for that position will be going from direct supervision of water operations to providing technical support and coordination with water operations. So there will be intimately still involved in operations from a technical support and coordination. They just won't be responsible for the daily direct supervision of that group.
Thank you. With that, I move to approve.
All right, we have a motion for approval on that. Makes sense to try to look at those things as you're all kind of joining together. So thanks for, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, I think just normally occur. So thank you for bringing that to us. Ms. Estes?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. It looks like I have a question. Mr. Rick, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Question for Mr. Blankenship. Typically in the private sector, when you do a reorganization, you either do it for increased efficiency or cost savings. I'm looking at this and I'm not seeing either one of those. Can you help me understand what those cost savings may be or efficiency improvements may be?
Yeah, the cost savings, if there are any, there's no direct cost savings with this. The primary purpose for this, Mr. Rick, is to utilize the experience that our deputy director has with managing utilities operations, so that we can, when we bring the two groups together, that we can start to build some consistent culture with that, and we believe that that will enable us to more efficiently and effectively meet the community's needs. Over time, will there be some cost savings? I anticipate that there will be, but they're really not quantifiable at this point in time.
Okay, and then on your org chart, you're showing the technology services director, deputy director, and IT staff reporting to either you or the utility or the deputy director. I was under the impression that under current budgets, we took all the technology people, put them under the IT and GIS staff, and they reported to the city manager, and you guys kind of just farmed stuff out to them. Is that a change, or are you still just farming stuff out to them?
No, sir. That is this change was actually made, and maybe someone can jump in and help me, but it was about maybe a year and a half ago when when IT and GIS were combined into technology services, and the action that was taken, the recommendation and action that was approved, was to assign that department to the direction of the utilities director. So that is not a change. That's something that's been in place for at least a year and a half.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct. This is Scott. Let me jump in real quick. So that's correct. The other part, though, going back to Mr. Rick, the first comment, is the third reason that changes are made besides cost savings and efficiency is really effectiveness. And so by joining those two operational groups under one heading, under one director, that the deputy director, that's where we're going to see, we believe, a greater effectiveness in the way that they operate.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate the time.
Okay, thank you. We do have a motion and second on the board or on the call for this. So Ms. Huffman?
Mayor Ortega, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lauer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Estes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Applegate, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Geek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Duncan, how do you vote?
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
All right, thank you. We are done with our agenda items for tonight. I'm going to go through correspondence, comments, and ex officio reports. I'll try to make sure I get to everybody on staff. If I miss you, usually because you don't want to come on and you have nothing to say, so if there is something you want to say, let me know quickly and I'll let you on, but I'll go through my normal list here. Scott, first one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate it. I just have two items quickly. Councilmember Thompson referenced one of them earlier, and that's relative to Karen Share. So we're working on an agreement with Karen Share for them to come down and occupy the space in the Walt Fortman Center where Reach Pikes Peak used to be. And so we're hoping to have that done within the month, where that would allow them to come in and help take the place. And I feel like I also need to give a kudos to Councilmember Thompson. She really, when Reach Pikes Peak decided to close their doors and moved out, she saw a real need and started reaching out to some contacts that she had made through Karen Share and brought them down here with their director. And we started exploring the opportunity. And boy, it just turned out to be an opportunity that Karen Share is excited about, and we are too. And that'll bring some great resources for folks in our community who really need those resources. So number one, I wanted to mention that. I wanted to follow up really on Councilmember Thompson's comments on that. And then number two, and I hope she's not going to kill me for mentioning this, but you know, I'm really proud of our city clerk. We, you know, those of us that work with Sylvia know that she just does a tremendous job as a city clerk, keeping our council meetings going. She does a lot inside the organization as well to help keep me going and keep other members of our staff going as well. You know, she's one of these folks that I've been able to add additional duties to. So that's when, you know, she started off as city clerk and then eventually took over as the Parks and Rec director as well. So she's someone who wears a lot of hats. But, you know, she really has been working for the past few years on a huge step in her own professional development. And she just this last week completed her degree in business administration with an emphasis in business management, with an emphasis on public administration. And for those who aren't aware of that, it's a huge step. I'm just really proud of her. And I think the other thing that I'm really excited about is that just brings more skill to our organization and it brings some of the things that she's learned, and it's just going to make her a more effective leader as well. She's already a great leader, and that's just going to help her. And I think in helping her, it's going to help all of us. So just wanted to bring everyone's attention to that and sort of virtually high five you, Sylvia. Thank you. That's all I had, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for mentioning that as well. And I'm glad you did, because then she could be mad at you and not me for embarrassing her. But no, it's a really awesome job. And you know, trying to work full time, have a family, do all those things that you do, and then you're a mom, so that, you know, double that workload, and then just trying to do school in the middle of everything, and then throw a pandemic in the middle of it. We are lucky as a community. We could say we're going to throw a pandemic into the middle of that, but just to get all that accomplished and get a bachelor's degree is a wonderful thing. So want to send that congratulations on as well. So thank you, Scott, for mentioning that. Great work. You know, I'm very proud of everything that Sylvia does for our community, and that just further strengthens what she has. Okay, Troy.
Nothing from me tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Troy. Chief Maxon, anything further?
Yes, sir. I just want to echo what you said in the beginning of the meeting about Chris Carneal. He was really very instrumental in our department. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him, but he really had a big influence on just about everybody that we have in leadership roles today in Fountain Fires. So we will definitely be there to remember him on Thursday as the City of Fountain Fire Department for his funeral. I also want to mention that on Sunday, we'll be having our Blue Santa toy drive to pass out the toys to the families that need them at Fire Station 1. That will be this coming Sunday, and that's all I have.
Okay, great. Thank you for doing that. Let's see. Dan, anything further from utilities?
We're good tonight. Thank you very much, Mayor.
All right, thank you, Dan. I'm going to pick on Miss Martinez since Todd isn't here. You're kind of the, we know you're the real boss. So go ahead, Christy. Anything further from planning?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, good enough. I know you guys are super busy back there too, so just keep up the good fight. Mr. Lewis, anything further from you or Miss Dale?
Well, from me, I believe this will be my last meeting of the year, so I wanted to say Merry Christmas to those where it's appropriate. Happy Hanukkah to others where that's appropriate. And really looking forward to 2021. I think we're going to have a great year. And we will finish the budget much sooner next year in accordance with your request, Mayor.
Oh, gee, thanks.
That's my commitment to all of you. So
All right.
have a happy new year. Thank you.
All right, thank you, John. Mr. Trilch.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I have nothing for this evening.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to look at either Miss Godwin or Paul, whoever's on, if you have anything from IT.
Good evening. We have no update. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then I'm going to close it out with our academic superior, Miss Sylvia. Anything from City Clerk Office?
Never turn on my camera, but I want to say thank you all for the kudos, and I'm so very blessed to have my work family and to work for such an amazing community. I thank you all for your support.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we love having you. Okay, I'm going to go through council real quick. Miss Duncan, anything further for tonight?
I just want to let you know this is a brag moment for our youth council. On last week, we were featured in the Gazette. So you can go online and look, there's a short video with our kiddos. Our council is growing. We have 9 members now.
Awesome.
We are still collecting hats and scarves through December. So if you would like to donate, we have 3 drop-off spots around the city. I don't know if they'll be able to go into the utilities office, probably not. But you can go into the city building and drop off hats and scarves. We'd appreciate it. We've partnered with the Salvation Army. They will let us know who is in need and they will donate, give those out. We will take them there, take a photo op, and let them deliver these scarves and hats to those who they feel are in need. So, and those who have donated already, we thank you very much. This is our first community service project, and we thank everyone for all of their support. We are still, through the end of the year, accepting applications for our youth council. And again, thank you for your support. Go online, look at the video, read the article. The children are so happy and they are proud of themselves. And I had a couple of students, even my own son, said the teachers saw the articles and they were calling them, saying they were famous. So they got brag moments at school. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Geek, anything?
I'd like to congratulate Sylvia and all the hard work that she's done. And you're right, she runs the show. It's no doubt about it. We have to have her.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
then the other thing is I would like to make sure that everybody, the health department is really happy about how the building down here is working out. And I just want to let Todd know that we really appreciate all he did for that too. And Scott, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Geek. Mr. Applegate?
Oh, nothing else tonight.
All right, thank you, sir. Miss Estes?
Congratulations to Sylvia. Job well done, but not unexpected because she always does a great job. One update, I attended the Fountain Creek Watershed District Board meeting last Friday, and they've been working on their budget too, John, and they're late in getting it done. So we didn't get to vote on it because they didn't get the notice out in time. So we will be having an additional meeting in the Fountain Creek Watershed District Board meeting. It will be December 28th at 10 a.m. And the main item on that agenda is to approve the budget, but there might be a couple other items, and it will be a virtual meeting. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Miss Estes. Mayor Pro Tem.
First and foremost, I'd like to add my congratulations to Sylvia as well. And then to thank Councilmember Estes for being at the Watershed District in my absence. Despite some of the restrictions in COVID world, being a defense contractor, my quote unquote real life, non-council life has actually almost doubled in our requirements to meet for the Air Force and Space Force. So I appreciate Councilmember Estes picking up the the watershed district in my absence. It means a lot to us in the city that we can have somebody with a good, strong mind still there at the board. So I appreciate that very much. And again, congratulations, Sylvia. Great job.
All right, Ms. Thompson.
Yay, Sylvia. We all knew you could do it. Congratulations. Just one last thing in passing. I would like to put a plea out to Governor Polis that our restaurants are not super spreaders. It was said earlier in a health department release that they are not super spreaders. Open up our restaurants to indoor dining as long as they're following social distancing and COVID dialogue. If you're not willing to do that, legislators, sue the governor to get your powers back. We need to get your powers back. We need to have a balance of powers back in our state, and we need to have not one person running our state, but our legislator running our state and passing the laws. So Governor Polis, open up our restaurants to indoor eating. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. Very important message as we continue to get through this thing, and who knows how much longer it's going to be, but that's not going to help. So thank you, everybody, again tonight. Pretty quick meeting. We do not have an executive session tonight. Again, reminder that our next meeting is next Tuesday in 1 week on December 15th. And be there to listen to the information on the vaccination if you think you're going to be one of those who are going to take part in getting a vaccination and when that might be for you as well. So again, thank you all and have a good evening. We are adjourned.